Hello my degens and welcome to the Church of Bernice. Today, let's talk about how you actually play her because her kit is actually quite complex. There are quite a lot of different aspects that I just don't want you guys to miss out on. And so in this video, we're going to cover off these things here on the screen, and to kick things off, let's start off with a fast summary of her kit, just in case you guys haven't had a chance to play her. Alright, let's speedrun this part. So for basic attack, it's just a mix of physical and fire damage. There's nothing really remarkable about this. But then we've got hold basic attack, and so I'm just going to hold it down, and you can see I do this Beyblade looking thing. And to be able to use this hold basic attack, we have to have this golden fiery resource up here. So I'll show you one more time. It uses fuel to do big damage. All right, then we've got our skill, which has two parts to it. So this is with energy. If I press and hold my skill button, I'm going to fire off a flamethrower, and then after about 2.5 seconds, you'll see that final finishing move. That thing is referred to as Fire Blast. And if I double tap hold the skill like this, then we'll use two flamethrowers and eventually also get Fire Blast again. And so let me just use up a little bit of the heat resource, because anytime we use our flamethrowers, you can see the heat is being replenished. And of course, if we're using two flamethrowers, our heat is going to go up super fast. Aside from that though, everything else is pretty standard. So you've got your dodge attack, and then you've got a dodge counter like that, both unremarkable. There's nothing really coming from them. And then the assist, which is going to be a defensive assist. So it is going to be a clang clang. This is what her chain attack is going to look like. So this right here, big whirlwind. And then lastly, her ultimate, which is a little bit special because you are able to quick assist with somebody back in whilst she is spraying her fire down on the enemy. Alright, and so the last part of her kit is you see this like burning flame on the Dullahan over here. Before Bernice goes off field, you need to make sure that the bro is burning, or your bros are burning, because only with that mark will you be able to do the off field damage. So when I hit him, he's going to take fire damage, as you can see down there. To be honest, almost everything you do is going to apply the mark, so it shouldn't be something that you need to actually think about. Alright, and so all of that being said, I do want to start talking about what I think is one of the most important points for Bernice, and it's that there are going to be a lot of people that will tell you you don't need energy regen. And look, I understand why, but I also disagree. Like sure, with very, very good rotations and in certain game modes where you are given initial energy like Shiyu Defense, Notorious Hunt, but not all of them by the way, if you have enough damage and your Bernice is actually like completely juiced out, you'll be able to finish the content before you start feeling the energy issues, assuming no energy regeneration. That said though, what I'm doing and what I actually recommend is to not min-max like that, because it can get really, really frustrating. And so I would say, especially for the off-field version, run 4 Chaos Jazz and 2 Swing Jazz for the 20% energy regeneration. And so what's happening here is that we are swapping Anomaly Proficiency or some kind of offensive stat. You could take your Woodpecker Electro or whatever for energy regen from the Swing Jazz instead. I personally think that this is like a really optimal trade-off, because the only other way that you get energy regen is by getting an energy regen slot 6 disc, and you don't really want to sacrifice the Anomaly Mastery for that, because this is quite literally the only source of Anomaly Mastery you can get. And what this is going to do is make our gameplay really, really comfortable. You will pretty much never feel like you're starved for energy. And so for the rest of the video, assume that this is going to be the set that we are using if you are playing off-field Bernice. Now, what I will say is that if you are able to make do without the extra energy regen, then absolutely go for it. But I personally really like to be more comfortable. All right, let's start talking about rotations and combos. Let me start off with kind of like the overarching playstyle. Now, if you are playing the off-field version, so pretty much exactly like this team, Jane, Caesar, and Bernice, nothing's really changed here for you Jane players. You just want to spend as much time in Jane as possible, because every time you whack this guy, you're going to use up some of that gold bar. You don't want to be going into Bernice, and you don't want to be using up your fuel in Bernice. If you are going to be playing main DPS Bernice, for sure, 100% use up that fuel with Bernice. For both versions of Bernice, you don't want to overcap on this fuel because it's pretty hard to get it. Like you have to really manage your energy, especially if you're not running the discs. And so you shouldn't be doing something like this and going all the way to full. But what you will notice is that the ending of the flamethrower, the Fire Blast, it actually gives you fuel as well. So let me just like spray a bit and boom, you can see there was a little bit of like a jump because of the Fire Blast. So just don't go all the way to the end, go like towards the end, but not all the way. And the last thing for Bernice is that you don't want to use up all of her fuel, right? Because once you use it all up, it's a pain in the ass to get back into that golden state. We have to actually fill up 50% of the fuel before we can access the afterburn, before we can access this basic attack. All right, so let's start off with the off-field version. So I'm saying Jane is our main DPS and our Bernice is here to support. We're not going to be doing this, right? We're not going to be using the enhanced basic attack because we want Jane to be proccing that fire damage every 1.5 seconds. Like, look at that. That's 7k damage and like 14k on crits. That said though, when you do need to use the enhanced basic attack, this here is probably the biggest mistake that everyone is going to make. And so you're going to hold down enhanced basic attack and boom, that's it, right? No, wrong. What you have to do is you have to hold down the button for a long time. So let me compare that for you. This is enhanced basic attack if I let go like prematurely. So boom, you can see that the whirlwind, the Beyblade doesn't actually last that long. But if I hold it down the entire duration, boom. That is how you get the full MV, the full multipliers on the enhanced basic attack. And this is the same mistake that people make on Ellen Basic Attack 3. And so I'm going to do it one more time. And what I want you guys to notice is this heat gauge over here. Whether I do the short version, like this one over here, or I do the long version and really hold it down, the heat cost is actually exactly the same. But the longer version gets me more anomaly buildup, this guy over here. And not only that, it actually regenerates more energy. So look at my energy gauge. It is actually going up significantly more than if I had just like done the short version. So if I just go boom like that, it's not very much that's going on for energy regen. So yeah, to summarize, hold down for a long time because you get more of the fire anomaly buildup and you get more energy and you get more damage. And so this is actually a pretty good segue into her combos. And the summary of this is that there are different paths to take to get into her double flamethrowers. Because the most intuitive way would be, okay, I'm going to tap E and I'm going to tap E again, and that's going to get me into double flamethrowers. Let's go through a couple of different combos that gets you straight into flamethrower, starting off with the enhanced basic attack we just talked about. So let's go hold, enhanced basic attack, and then after the explosion, I'm going to hold E and we are in double flamethrowers. And so the next one is going to be my favorite one. It's going to be a parry into double flamethrowers. Boom, just like that. Now there is actually a variation of the parry version. All right, let's wait for a parry. And then what I can do is I can hold basic attack and you can see I am doing the Beyblade thing again and then going straight into double flamethrowers. And then we've got chain combo with Bernice. I'm going to do chain combo and then coming out of it, double flamethrowers again, just by holding E. That said though, the chain attack version, there is a little bit more to it because it dictates where Bernice should be in the chain combo order. And so to pull that off, we need to make sure that Bernice goes last so that she can actually go out of chain attack and straight into the double. If we use Bernice first, it is going to go straight into a chain attack again and she can't use her double flamethrower. So let's say I do this and put him into the stun. I'm going to use Jane first. And then I can use Bernice, and then there is no more chain attack, and I just go straight into double flamethrower. All right, so that's all of the different ways that you get into double flamethrower. Now, what I'm gonna hit you with is instant fire blast tech. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over to skill info, and I am going to show you the multipliers on the double shot, which is the double flamethrower, the fire blast, 574, 312 for damage and days respectively. This is probably what I would say is her most frequent combo. And so let me show you what exactly that looks like. Let's go like hold basic attack into, I'm just going to tap E and that's it. And there are 3 reasons as to why this is so good. The first is that 574, 312, the fire blast damage and days from the double shot is actually 3 times the multipliers in the single shot. The second reason is pay attention to the heat gauge, right? I'm going to go enhance basic attack, hold the full thing, and then just tap E, boom, and wow, I have full heat again. That's pretty freaking nice. But lastly, pay attention to her energy. I'm going to go into the enhanced basic attack again and then come out and just tap it. And that is barely any energy used. It's just a really, really efficient use of your resources because you have so much heat left over, you get so much energy and you do so much damage. Like coming out of the chain combo, I'm going to go into Bernice. So it's going to do that and I'm just going to tap, boom. It's fantastic. Or maybe we get the parry, right? And this is probably my favorite version of it. I just really like parries. Boom. And then into tap E. That's going to be fire blast straight away. Look at my heat. It's still all up there. All right. And so there is one last piece of tech. It's really intuitive. Like I don't think you won't be doing this anyway. But when you ult, there's going to be a quick assist. you have to take that quick assist every single time. And the reason that you need to take the quick assist is because Bernice will spray flames for an extended duration, which means more damage. If you don't take the quick assist, you're not going to get the full multipliers. And the multipliers on her ultimate are some of the highest I've seen in the game. I'm pretty sure that's higher than like Ellen. I think it's actually higher than everyone except maybe Zhu Yuan. But yeah, just to showcase that, let's go into ult and we're going to see the quick assist at the bottom right hand corner down over here into Jane. I mean, it's kind of intuitive, just make sure that you do it. All right, and so for W engines, Bernice's signature, of course, is going to be her best in slot, but the alternatives actually look pretty good. We don't have to go and take a W engine from another class. Now, main DPS Bernice is going to be really straightforward. You can use probably literally everything that you see on the screen. However, off-field DPS, Bernice is going to be where it all kind of goes to shit. And so aside from her signature, the only two that really work with her are Weeping Gemini as well as the Sucky Sucky. And the reason she doesn't really work with any of the others is because when you're using Bernice as off-field, her attacks count as assist attacks, not special attacks, not skills, not anything like that. Only assist damage. And so you can go through all of them, but specifically it has to call out assist attack over here for the W engine's effect to actually proc. Thankfully, the Weeping Gemini is actually craftable, super free-to-play friendly. Otherwise, in terms of discs, Chaos Jazz 4-piece for your off-field Bernice, plus 2 of you can take Woodpecker Electro, you can take Puffer Electro, you can take Freedom Blues, you can take Hormone Punk, you can take Swing Jazz, you can even take 2-piece Inferno Metal. All of these are extremely competitive. What it really comes down to is what's giving you the most AP, Anomaly Proficiency, as well as attack. And of course, given that Afterburn can actually crit, that's why Woodpecker Electro crit rate is actually pretty decent, and those crit substats are definitely not wasted. I personally prioritize crit rate over crit damage when it's something like this, kind of a hybrid. But yeah, she has actually an incredible amount of choice. That being said though, if you have been playing with a Soldier 11 and you do have an Inferno Metal set, this actually works because this makes it so her Afterburns crit more at a 28% rate. So if your Chaos Jazz set is actually looking pretty ass, 100% Inferno Metal is a pretty good alternative. All right, and so there is one last thing I wanted to talk about, and it's this whole, oh, should I take Caesar or should I take Lucy? Because what some people have actually seen, and it's correct, it's that Caesar's buff only applies to the active character you are controlling, meaning that Bernice's off-field attacks from her Afterburn, they do not benefit from the 1k attack that Caesar gives. And this caused a lot of people to then be like, oh, then Lucy has to be the answer, right? Because she gives 600 attack from the special attack skill to everybody on the team. And yeah, look, that is actually really good, everyone getting 600 attack, but what a lot of people are missing about Caesar is also actually the additional ability, where she increases the damage that enemies take by an additional 25%. And all of that, plus her shield, plus her interrupt, that makes Caesar extremely competitive. I would say like significantly better than Lucy. Now, I mean, she's literally a limited S rank. This is exactly what you would expect. It'd be weird if she was not better than Lucy. But what I will say is that, you know, gems aren't free, gems don't grow on trees. So Lucy is still absolutely a fantastic pick, probably the best pick after your Caesar. All right, gang, that is going to be it for the video. That was actually a bucket load. So let me know if these tips actually helped you out. If you learned something from this video, I'd really appreciate it if you did leave a comment down below, and also liking and sharing this video. Again, if you found it helpful. That said though, I do hope you guys enjoy your Bernices. I am definitely going to be enjoying mine, but this is the end. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.